In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the MIDI controller functionality with LabMonster Toolkit. I'm assuming that you already have a fully set up toolkit with your controller plugged in, and you are able to use the source controller to control the two virtual gamepads. So there is this Configure MIDI button. Before we get into that, we're going to launch up a piece of software called Loop MIDI. Now, Loop MIDI is a virtual MIDI port. So what you want to do is, I'm going to delete this port and create a new one. Loop MIDI port. I'm going to rename this to be, this thing, oh, here we go, new porting. What did I call it before? Oh, it's not named. All right, I think I call it Gamepad MIDI. That's a fine name for it. So I'm going to create a new port called Gamepad MIDI, delete that, there we go. All right, so that's all you need to do here is just create the port, have it be called something, and then I'm going to boot up a MIDI playback program. I'm using LMMS. I'm not an expert at MIDI software, so this is just going to be very basic. So here we have LMMS, and I'm going to add a new, let's see here. I'm going to add a new instrument. Let me see if I can find the one I like. So I like this. I might have to turn the volume down on this for recording, so I'm going to crank that down. So what I'm going to do is create this instrument, and then I'm going to, in the MIDI, I'm going to say for input, use the Gamepad MIDI as the input for this. So then I'm going to go into LabMonster Toolkit, go to Configure MIDI, and select Gamepad MIDI as my controller. Now you can save the config. You can, if you want to save this as your config, you can just hit apply and close as well. All of this key stuff and MIDI configuration, if you know what you're doing, you're welcome to change it. By default, it's on pretty good settings. Everything is basically in the key of C, and all of the directions are set up so that they sound good when you're doing quarter circles and half circles. So we're just going to click apply and close, and then you have this little check mark on enable MIDI. Now you can have different configurations for the left and right controllers here. So we'll just click enable. And you can see so everything is bound to a key, and you're welcome to change that however you like, but yeah, this is all it takes to make it so that your gamepad is a MIDI controller. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below or on the itch.io page. Thanks for watching.